One second. I'm gonna play this up. All right, what's up, guys? I'm your host, John from Incline, and today we have an awesome show. I've got David from Ball Python Love. Welcome in. What's up, David? How you doing?
Good, John. Long time, no seeing away. I remember just having you as a guest back in the day on the P&E show with myself and Josue Exotics, and it was a great time, and tonight will be even better.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, and most of you guys probably don't, because this is pretty much my first show other than the last show that I had last week doing the 2-chip challenge, but David was the very first person to have me on his live. Asked me when I was just starting out and trying to get going with like Instagram and things like that. And so I thought it was only right to be able to have him as my first guest, essentially. So I appreciate you, David. You've been awesome. I know that looking back, both of us have kind of come a long way, and that's really awesome to see. But really quick, let's just say hi to a couple people in the chat, see who kind of showed up. All right, so we got Brad Clark up in here. What is up, Brad? Thank you so much for coming out. Really nice to see you. We have live feeding ASMR. Appreciate you, of course. We have Gio from Eden's Den. And yeah, thank you so much for coming by, even if it's just for a minute. I really appreciate you. And let's see, we got Reptile Dysfunction. Again, thank you for coming out, guys. And yeah, let's just kind of get started with the show. Yeah, going back, David had me as his had me as a guest. It was my first live I've ever done, and I think things like that kind of get you a little bit more comfortable into doing stuff like this. And but I think that was honestly, that was probably like a year ago or something. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a while. Anyway, so David, if you can just introduce yourself a little bit. Who are you? Where are you located? What's your family life look like? Anything that's kind of relevant to who you are.
So my name is Ball Python Love and Exotics now. I have ball pythons. I have green basilisks. I have a tortoise. I breed my own rats. I'm from Sparks, or most people know Reno better, but Sparks, Nevada. 2 kids, married. Just trying to live the reptile dream by enjoying the company of the reptiles.
Oh, for sure.
Having my kids and wife involved, it kind of makes everything that much more greater.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So how does that work around the house when you have your wife and your kids around? Like, do they get involved with that stuff? Do they kind of take out the animals, pet them, play with them, or like what's that like as far as them wanting to be involved with the Ball Python Love sort of venture?
So for my wife's point of view, she gets involved a lot. She just doesn't want to be on the live stream.
Sure.
I was happy enough when I did the 1-chip challenge for her to pop in for a second, but
yeah.
She likes to help me clean out the enclosures. Certain ones she won't help me with because she knows they're little snappies. They like to bite sometimes. And as for my kids, both of them have no fear. It doesn't matter if it's the ones that bite or not. They'll just reach in there and grab them, and I love it. Like they just find the snakes mostly.
Yeah. Fascinating.
The green basilisk, I'm the only one that truly handles them at the moment, just because of how little they are, and I don't want especially my youngest at 6 to break a leg on one of them or something. So sure. I try not to let anyone handle those too much besides me.
That makes sense. So you have a 6-year-old and what's the age? Oh, okay, 6 and 9. That's a good age, honestly, to kind of get started along that sort of path. I mean, for myself, like the reason why I think that I got into all this is the fact that growing up, my dad would always take me fishing. I'd always find like turtles and see all the fish that are in the lakes and ponds and things like that, and catching frogs and seeing snake holes and all these just different sorts of wildlife that like really got my interest in nature in itself. And so I think it's awesome that you have a sort of diverse portfolio of animals, because like if I could have, 15, 20 different species of animals or whatever, I definitely would. I think that's something that maybe I'll kind of, work towards one day. But I'm just fascinated with all sorts of life. So I could tell that you are kind of interested in more than just ball pythons, which is nice, because um, I I feel like there are a lot of people that just kind of get stuck on like just ball pythons. That's all they want to deal with. But I mean, there's so many cool things out there. You know what I mean?
There is.
So let me ask you this too. When did you start ball python love? Like, when did you realize like I kind of want to make this a social media type thing, or pursue it maybe as a business one day, or like, what are your sort of thoughts behind that, and when did you kind of get going with this?
So my channel was made in 2016, but yet
Oh wow.
I was so scared for the first till 2018 to even post a video or do anything. So it took me 2 years to gain up the courage, I guess you would say, um
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah. So, but I mean, from it's kind of like when having you as a guest for the first time on the P&E show, like you were like, I'm nervous, I don't have a logo at the time, we're just talking about that, and like
Yeah.
you kind of made one up real quick, and um it's a little nerve-wracking when you first do it, but once you get in the groove of doing something, like it just becomes a cakewalk. You get more and more comfortable, and it's also fun, just I mean, dealing with the reptiles in general.
For sure. Yeah. It's really funny looking back. I didn't have a logo, but honestly, like for me, like I've been planning this for like a really long time. Essentially, like the Inquiline thing. I've always had like an idea in my head of like I want to be able to have a brand around like animals, nature, um, and it wasn't really until I got my first ball python that I kind of figured out, all right, this is like the sort of path I want to go. Honestly, when I first started, it's kind of a long story, but I found Inquiline in a dictionary that was from my great grandma. I was looking for band names one day when I was like 12, 13, you know what I mean? And the Inquiline thing that I found in the dictionary just kind of stuck with me. And I like over the years, since then I've been sort of trying to formulate like what does that mean to me? How can I turn that into like a brand? And so a couple years ago, actually, I started hiring like an artist to make little designs for me. Basically, so I can make like T-shirts and kind of brand Ankle through like T-shirts and stuff like that. So what I started doing was my first uh, my first ever sort of like art creation, or that I hired an artist for, was like a panda, and he's like eating bamboo, and it's like this really cool like art type thing. I hired him again to do a black rhino, and so what I was trying to do was basically I would still like to do it maybe, but my goal was to make like 10 sort of different t-shirt designs of all sorts of endangered animals and things like that, and then sell them and stuff. But then I found walked into a reptile shop one day, looking for a ball python because I wanted a ball python. I've always wanted a ball python. I think going to different reptile shops when I was a kid growing up, like seeing ball pythons and then seeing the albinos, and like I think that's all there pretty much was at the time. I think morphs were a lot more probably underground when I was a teenager and things like that. I'm sure there were morphs and things like that, but um, that's kind of what got me fascinated. And yeah, got the ball python thing. Walked into the shop, and the employee was just kind of like telling me about all these different morphs. I'm like, all right, if you get this ball python and this ball python, you can do this, and it'll make this. But if you get this, you're gonna need both parents. It's a recessive trait, and this one's a codon. And he like started talking all these genes. I'm like, what the heck is like, what's he even talking about? I just want to buy a ball. I just want to buy a ball python. I got like $200, 300 for like an enclosure or whatever else I need or whatever. But that's kind of what got me started. And then after that, I started, looking into all the different morphs, watching videos and things like that. But let me ask you, like, so I guess after you sort of discovered, like, all right, ball python love is like what I want to do. Like, were you investing in ball pythons back in 2016, or like what did your collection sort of look like back then?
So I've told the story before, those who follow me. I actually had a ball python before I met my wife, and then we started dating at the time,
Mm.
and she was really skittish around the snake. Well, one day, I just had a plain normal mill, and he struck at her, and she was like, it's either, at the time, this was like 2000, I want to say like 11, and she was like, it's either me or the snake.
Yeah.
Well, I got rid of the ball python.
Oh man.
As years went on, I kept
Yeah.
begging and pleading, being like, I'll do anything. I'll do all the dishes for a year. I'll do everything. So
Sure,
it came
yeah.
down to the point. She was like, all right. She's like, we'll get one. And then once I was like, listen, you got to face your fear. Because at first she was like, I don't want to hold it. I don't want it near me. And then as soon as she faced her fear and realized, she fell in love. And now, I mean, here we are now, 22 plus.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling, especially like that's something like I like to do, especially is like when people come over for the first time from either coworkers or friends, and they're like, you have snakes? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, that's kind of weird a little bit. And I'm like, just come on over, check them out.
Right. Yeah.
I always hand them my biggest bell, which is the cinnamon bell. And they're like,
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I feel like if you start them with a bigger one instead of just the hatchlings or the subadults, they are more tuned to get used to being around a decent sized snake.
Sure.
Instead of just having it like, yeah, here's this one that just, we had like, a month ago or 2 months ago, and it's tiny, or I'd rather give them one that's like 4.5 feet and be like, here you go. Like,
that's really interesting, because I have thought about that, because I have. So Lucy, she's in the chat. She's a girl that I've been talking to, and I think we've been hitting it off, just fine. But she's scared of snakes, and so I think that's something that, once she sees my love for it, I think that it's something that she'll feel more comfortable with and things like that. But I do know a lot of people that are scared of snakes, and it's just, maybe it's like the culture that we grew up in, is that like snakes are bad, they're evil, they're gonna bite you, they're gonna eat your babies, this and that, and it's just not true. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I think that it's important for us to do shows like this, and get out there in the community and show people that snakes, especially like ball pythons, are harmless. You know what I mean? Like, even if you get tagged by one on accident or whatever, like, you're gonna realize like, oh wow, that didn't even hurt. It was just more like, it kind of shocked me because they're, can be a little quick or whatever. But yeah, you're not even gonna. It's not gonna do anything. But that's an interesting strategy to show them the big ones rather than the baby hatchlings.
I gotta say this though. So being stung by a bee hurts worse than being bit by a ball python.
Oh yeah, for sure, for 100%. I would definitely agree with that. Yeah, honestly, all the snake bites I've ever had have not even like been bad. I've been bit by ball pythons, retics, clutterbugs, things like that, but they're really not that bad. Like, yeah, I would probably be scared of like a larger retic and things like that. But I watch retic breeders, and if you handle them right and kind of read their body language, because snakes give off that body language that you can read. Like, if they're starting to coil up and like, in that position where they look like they're gonna strike, just leave them alone. Don't agitate them. Like, it's but yeah. I'm just curious, did you grow up with animals or snakes or anything like that as a kid, or?
So I had a garter snake when I was a kid. I had dogs, fishes,
Okay.
but my mom would only let me have one as a kid, reptile-wise. So I had a garter snake, and I would go in the middle, like, so growing up in Bakersfield, California, I'd go a lot of herping down there when I was a kid, just going in the creeks and stuff, especially the Kern River, finding them, just picking them up. And then when I moved up here to Carson at the time, Carson City, there's a creek that runs through Carson, and there's a lot of them are out there, just tons of garter snakes. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm so starting last year, I actually took my boys last summer and this summer to go herping.
Oh,
My
nice.
main reason was because I want to find the only rattlesnake we have in northern Nevada was the Great Basin rattlesnake.
Okay.
No success yet, but I mean we found gopher snakes, gardener snakes, we found lizards. They saw a few hawks. We also
Sure.
have the desert eagle. So I mean, they got to see some pretty cool stuff. The only
Yeah.
thing, like I said, my main focus was trying to find a Great Basin.
Nice. That would be really cool. That would definitely be cool. It's kind of funny you said like you grew up, catching garter snakes and stuff like that. Is whenever whenever I was growing up, like 13, 14 or whatever, they would kind of run around our yard every now and then. You'd find one and stuff like that. And so my brother, trying to be, this big old macho little teenager, like picked up the snake and was like showing us and everything. All of a sudden it bit him and he dropped it, and he's been scared of snakes ever since. I was like, I know
Oh
it.
wow!
I know it didn't. I know it didn't hurt him. You know what I mean? Uh, I think it's just that people get. I think it's a shock factor or something. But he won't go around my ball pythons or anything.
I
And
agree. So I would
yeah,
have to say this: it's not the bite itself that hurts from a garter snake or a ball python. It's not the bite itself. It's actually the fast reaction of them doing it to you that
yeah,
spoofs you out. But once you get bit a few times, trust me, I had two Aries, my male pied, which I still have that now he's calm, and Bemo, which I gave to Reese's pythons because he lost his collection. So I was like, you could have anything in my collection you choose, and it's yours. And he's like, I want Bemo. Well, every time I would open Bemo's case, because I haven't been wrecked, he would bite me every single time. It didn't matter if it was
yeah,
feeding time, just checking on him, I'd get tagged. So getting bit now, it's like, whatever.
for
Like,
sure. Yeah, yeah. And I even think like seeing like it's kind of weird maybe. And like I would say I've never really been scared of animals or anything like that. Like I feel like I've always been pretty fearless when it comes to that. Um, but like growing up, like I would catch everything else, but if I saw a snake, I wasn't trying to catch it. You know what I mean? I don't know why. But now if I see a snake in the wild, like I'm trying to catch that. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to at least pick it up, you know what I mean? As long as I know what it is and things like that. And so it's really interesting to see that sort of evolve to where like if I see snakes now in the wild, like I'm definitely, I'm gonna try to catch it. If it's like a hognose or something that's crawling around because we have wild hognose out here, uh, I'm gonna try to catch it because I know it's not really gonna do anything. If it bites me, it's not even like a pinprick. You know what I mean? It's just you get shocked by it and you're just like, oh no, it bit me. But at the beginning of this year, so January to I think July or so, I was working for a reptile shop, so I got to see all these different ball pythons and all these retics, and a couple berms came in, and all these different cluvids, rat snakes, corn snakes, all this and that. Probably been bit by all of them. You know what I mean? And you realize like it's really not that bad. You know what I mean? It's really not that bad, and I hope that we can go out there and start educating people a little bit more about different species of animals and snakes and things like that to really kind of take their fear off of them. And I think if you start, showing smaller children that, with proper care and things like that, they're totally fine and safe and stuff like that, then I think that's a really great way to, bring up a child and stuff like that.
so my oldest son this year he found a gopher snake alongside the river here that runs through Reno and
Mm.
goes all the way and it's the Truckee River. Well, um, I don't have the video, and I did have it, but I deleted the video because I thought of the negativity that would come from it. But my son picks up the snake, and it's a full-grown, snake. It's a nice size, and it bit him right on his collarbone. And
Yeah,
dude, my 9-year-old took it like a champion. I was like, good job, bud. And to this
sure.
day, he's like, he's not afraid. He just wants to keep going. I'm like,
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's really awesome. Um, so I think you might have kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but what does your collection look like? Snakes, other reptiles, things like that. Like, are you into breeding or, trying to do that stuff as well?
Oh, I'm breeding for sure.
Oh, okay, nice.
So I have pieds, I have clowns, I have pastels. I have a lot of freaking pastels.
Yeah.
GHI lesser pastel, a pastel double het ghost clown. I have a cinnamon vanilla, a cinnamon. I have a normal. I have a spider inchy orange dream pinstripe, which is my oldest son's snake now.
Oh, okay.
I have a genetic stripe yellow belly orange dream. I have, I'm trying to go through the section really quick. I have a banana. I have 2 green basilisk lizards. I can't wait till they are fully grown.
Yeah. How big do those guys get, anyways? I don't
3
honestly. I don't even know. Oh wow, nice.
So
That's
the female doesn't grow the horn, but the male grows the horn, and then he also grows the. It's not really a dorsal fin, but like the spine between the back and the tail, and like
yeah,
they kind of look like dinosaur-y. So that's why I was stoked to get them.
for sure. Yeah, I love that. I have a baby Savannah monitor, and I can't wait till he grows up. Like he's the coolest thing ever, and it's cool because yeah, you see like I think a lot of people get the perception that like reptiles and snakes and things like that don't have personalities or just kind of like chill there, but as furthest from the truth. I think every one of my snakes has its own sort of personality. My Savannah monitor's got like his own personality. You know, I had to breed a dragon before I gave him up, um, and just seeing all these different types of reptiles and within those groups, like they're just all different. You know what I mean? And I feel like in a way they do sort of like give love or feel love. Like I can't explain it.
Yeah.
It's like you can bond with them in a way that's you know different from a cat or a dog or whatever, but it's still like yeah, it's fun, man. I love it.
So I would have to say for my wife, like when she's having a really stressful day, what's up, Leica? Everybody else, when she's having a stressful day, she'll pull out our male cinnamon Odin. That's her favorite one of all of them, right? But for I don't know, for her it is a stress reliever. Like she'll become so calm within 20 minutes, and everything doesn't even matter anymore. And like I love that.
Sure. Yeah. For me too, like huge stress reliever. Like I would say that since I got my first ball python, my life has like radically changed. Like I have anxiety, and I've had sorts of like bouts of depression throughout my life and things like that. And like, man, dude, I come home and like just pick up one of my snakes and I feel so much better about life, so much better about the day. And half the time, honestly, like my snakes get a lot of attention from me. I think I have maybe 19 or 20 snakes plus the Savannah monitor. It's like I can go from one snake, hold him for 10, 15 minutes till he gets squirmy or whatever, put him back, grab another snake, and like, you know, I just like spending time with them. You know what I mean? And I would say that, yeah, my anxiety has gone down significantly, to be honest. You know what I mean? So I think the best snake that I have sort of like for that sort of remedy is my boa. I've got a boa. He's probably like 4 feet long now. And he's just so chill. I'll take him out. He'll just kind of like sit there with me. And like I can just have him on my bed. If I like leave my room for, you know, 10, 15 minutes, he's just going to still, you know, be chilling on the bed. And, you know, I think my ball pythons from what I've noticed are a little bit more skittish. Like they just want to hide. And, you know, I mean, they want to find a spot to hide right away. But with my boa, he'll just chill with me. And I just find it like the best sort of medicine in the world.
Sure. I agree.
So let me ask you, do you have any clutches under your belt, or what does that sort of look like?
I had the pastel that gave me my second clutch. The first clutch was pastel. Once again, a lot of pastel on my stuff. But first clutch was a pastel to my spider sentiment inchy orange dream.
Okay,
and
yeah.
My second one was my cinnamon to my pastel, and she gave me on that clutch. I was really disappointed. I got 5 normals, and 2 pastels in the whole thing, not one.
No way.
I was really
Wow.
disappointed. But I cut so there's a lady here named Jessica, locally, well, kind of local. She's like a good, I don't know, Lovelock from Reno. It's probably like a 2-hour drive. But she was like, hey, do you have any right now for sale? I was like, this is what I got. So she bought my whole entire second clutch.
Oh, wow.
After the yolk was done and they had to fight, I fed them a good 5 meals. They all ate, and she bought them all for $120. I cut her one sweet of a fucking deal, or freaking deal. Sorry, not to discuss on your channel. But.
Oh no, you're good, bro. That's awesome, man. Like that's what I need to figure out. Right now, so I had my first clutch back in July is when they hatched, and I had 7 babies. But when the female laid eggs, like I honestly wasn't prepared for it. Like I didn't have an incubator or anything, so I had to use the reptile shop's incubator that I was working for, which was awesome. Kind of worked out. And the reptile shop, they got one of the picks. You know what I mean? They got second pick on a snake, and so I kept all the other ones. And I kept posting ads on like Facebook and Craigslist, and trying to get people interested in them. And like, man, it's been hard. You know what I mean? It's, I wouldn't even mind wholesaling, some of them or whatever, but I'm a little bit scared to breed because I feel like I've got some things that, like I've got, for example, my 2 females that are up to size. One's a pastel lesser. She gave me my first clutch. The other one's a normal. And if I start breeding them with just whatever I've got on hand, like I might produce stuff that's not necessarily like the greatest things in the world, and like I just don't know how I'm going to feed them and move them all. You know what I mean? I've put up, I've started my morph market and things like that, but it's like it's not worth it for me to pay for the whole subscription. I could put up like 3 animals, I think, and stuff, but yeah. So that's kind of like the journey I'm on. Do you have like an incubator, or like what does that look like?
Oh, it's right behind me. So I have the Sea Serpent incubator, and I got to say this because I read one in the comments, and so there is somebody watching right now. Everyone should know her as Missy. She is so it's either she has the first clutch. So this year I'm doing my clown male to my spot nose female. Well, coming here soon next month, or just to say it's December. So I'm sorry, we're pretty much there, but. In January, my clown will go to my female spot nose, so I could do 100% het spot nose. That's what I want to keep back is a female, so I can do it back to the male and hopefully hit a spot nose clown. And then I also have the banana going to another pastel, and then I have Shiva, which is my belle. She'll go next year.
Nice.
This year coming up, she'll be going because. Everyone should know this super, if it's a super, it's guaranteed that you're not going to have a normal in that clutch. So everything will be Mojave. To her, though, I'm thinking about going the Spider Inchy Orange Dream Pinstripe, but I'm not 100% sure.
Might be all right, though.
But I'm stoked either way I go. Like, I'm just excited, even if I get, besides that one, if I hit nothing but normals, 100% hit. And the clown to spot nose, that's fine with me. The banana to the pastel, I would love to have a banana pastel, but what I was basically saying was Mitzi would have the first I didn't say the first clutch. I gave her options. If she didn't like the first clutch, she could have first pick the second clutch, if not the third. We'll keep going a bit because she helped me come up with the new name because I struggled with it. She's like, why don't you just put exotics? And I was like, you know what? You help me out. I'll give you a free snake out of it. And nice. I think it was killer deal. She helped me. I'm helping her.
That's awesome. That's what's great about the community is like the more connections and things like that you make, the more support you're going to get, and the easier it is going to be able to sell snakes or even get people interested in getting their first ball python or get into breeding or whatever. So I think that's awesome.
Sorry, I was reading some comments.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, let me say what's up to a couple more people I think that came in. We got Zach up in here. Of course, I don't know if I said hey to Mitzi. Thank you for coming by, Mitzi. We got Ledka up in here. Thank you for coming by. And to answer a couple questions. So Brad, I am in Colorado Springs currently. So I just moved out here from Pueblo, and I was in Pueblo for
Texas.
for 2 years. No, Pueblo, Colorado. So yeah, I was in Pueblo for the last 2 years up until a month ago, and then before that, I was in Denver, Colorado, since 2012. So I love it. I mean, I moved to Colorado Springs because Pueblo had such bad crime, and but I did work for a reptile shop out there that I think is probably the best in the entire state. So that was really fun. But now I'm in Springs and just trying to kind of start over, and I live in a place where I can have all my snakes and things like that without having to worry about the landlord. And so I think the situation is just a lot better for me. And plus, Colorado Springs has so many awesome things around here. What's up, Patrick? Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it.
Dude, Patrick's a good guy. He's been there from almost day one for me.
Honestly, okay, so if I ever watch like a video from like probably anybody, like you, I mean, it could be, Billy Rose, Canova, like, Adam, proper, literally anybody I could think of, like, I'll go and check the comments and he'll leave it, like, he'll have a comment and I'm like, oh man, dude, like just supporting everybody. So yeah, appreciate you, Patrick. And I know I've seen you around for as long as I can remember, at least since I got into this. So I know you've been, really supporting the community hard, and we really appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, Missy, that's gonna be awesome. Getting a snake from David, that's really cool. Yeah, it's gonna be really, really awesome. Oh yeah, that's right. Brad, I think you did mention that to me. You're up in was it Wyoming or not? What? Man, I can't remember. My mind is blank. It's been so long since I've been in school and like learning where all the states are. But yeah, I remember you telling me you're like 300 miles away from here. So, all right. So hold on. Let's get back to it. So out of your collection, what's your absolute favorite animal?
My favorite animal?
Well, like your favorite animal or morph or whatever. Like, what's that one animal that you would probably never give up?
My cinnamon mill.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, I like cinnamons.
The reason why, to give you the backstory, the cinnamon mill, he came from a lady that bought him when he was a hatchling for her son, and she kept him for 4 years and was feeding him every 2 months. So if you go way back in my channel, like you can see how skinny he was. He was bad, like problems up like no tomorrow.
Sure.
Came down with respiratory infection. Would stargaze at times. It's kind of weird, but he did. He would just stay there, and like we could wave in front of him, and it wouldn't phase him. Like he would just dazing off. And he's been through so much that he is the only one of the whole collection that I could never get rid of, because I brought him back from pretty much the brink of death to full health. And now, like he would hiss at us. He never struck. He's just been through a lot, and I can't see myself ever parting ways with him. He will be with me until either I die, or even if my wife and I both somehow, pass on, it's going to my son. Like, that is the one snake that I could never sell, can never get rid of. He means the world to me. It's like a third child.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah, they're all awesome. I know. And cinnamons, I love the cinnamon gene, especially when you mix it with like banana. I don't know. Banana cinnamons are really cool. I don't know. Cinnamon goes well with a lot of other things. I've been looking into lavender for myself. Like, I've actually I'm paying off 2 lavenders right now, male and a female. And I've seen some like lavender cinnamon stuff and like lavender blackhead stuff. And like, I don't know, cinnamon goes really well with a lot of stuff. I think it brings out a lot of good colors and stuff if you can do it right. So the next sort of topic that I want to kind of go to is your social media and things like that. I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but what are your goals with doing social media? Like, is it you just enjoy it? Is it that you do want to like build a business or like a social media sort of like empire? Or kind of like what motivates you to do this every day?
Just the love of the reptiles, just being around them, just the ability to know that, reptiles, I can argue with anyone about this all day long. They a lot of people would say, okay, I'm just saying, a lot of people would say snakes aren't that intelligent. I find that wrong. Snakes are very intelligent.
Yeah, they
I
are.
mean, we can bring up cobras and everything, but me having ball pythons are very loving. They're very caring.
Yep.
Some can be jerks. Like I said, I had Bimo. He was a jerk, but he never bit Reese's yet. Lucky. But just having them, I mean, I like watching them eat, especially. I love holding them. I love, every 3 months I'll give them a bath and let them go in the water and swim. Like,
sure,
I think it's really epic to have a collection where even if you just have normal, like just to be around a reptile is just, it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And most people won't ever see that because they hear like all this negativity, like you said earlier, like, oh, snakes will eat your babies, or they're slimy, or they're they'll bite you. Well, can you name one animal out there that doesn't bite you?
True. 100% true. Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have like a weekly show? Yeah. You're like doing lives and things like that on a regular basis. I know you have a show with Derek, and
Correct.
is that your only show, or do you have like another show going on as well?
I do not have another. Well, I mean, I got the open chat night, but I really don't count that as a show. I count that as just being open chat. I'm also bringing back the interviews. I got an interview to do tomorrow. I got the show with Derek, which is the Reptile Love Show on Thursdays. And then I got every Saturday and Sunday. If I don't have a guest, then it's just going to be an open mic chat.
Gotcha.
Just spreading knowledge, just having fun, and trying to help the reptile community get better and grow more. And my biggest thing is, like, I think, and this is just opinion of mine, this does not make it true, but we need to stop bickering upon each other and just, there's bigger fights than fighting among each other. We all have reptiles. We all need to learn how to love each other and respect each other of having reptiles. And just make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe to Inkline over here.
Yeah. I appreciate it. If everybody could go smash that like button. If you're here for the first time, make sure you hit that sub button. I've actually, since my first live last week, I actually said I was going to do the 2-chip challenge if I hit 100 subs, and I was like 9 down. I think I was on like Iron Dogs chat or something. And I was like, hey guys, I'll do the 1-chip challenge or whatever. If you guys get me to 100 subs, literally within minutes, I was at 100 subs. I'm like, all right, I'll do the live tomorrow because it was the next day. And since then, so like from being down like to like 91 or something subs, I think I'm at 120 now. So it's really awesome to just, start really kind of, taking this full on and actually trying to accomplish something with this. So you have your show with Derek. How's that been going? Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. What was the question so I can answer it?
Oh, no, you're good. So how's that been going? Like what are your guys' goals behind that? And how did that sort of get started?
So Derek, to be honest with you, me and Derek always talk, and he was like, yo, when are you coming back? Because I took a good break from YouTube and IG, Facebook. I didn't post anything. I didn't make videos. And I just took a break. There's reasons behind that. But he was the one to encourage me. He's like, listen, let's do a show together. And we started doing the Reptile Love Show. But he was like, we're going to do a different type of show. I was like, okay, kind of cool. Like, what is it about? And he was like, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And Derek has some topics that have drawn my blood to a boil when I hear about them.
Yeah.
And it drives me insane. And I question some of these people now. I'm like, why'd you? Well, there's two people. I'm not going to say names right now, but there's two that really boiled my blood to the point where I was like, you have literally hundreds of thousands of people that follow you, subscribe to you, that pay attention to you. But if someone smaller than you did that, it'd be like, you're stupid. You have no knowledge. Who says
That's
who has
true.
more knowledge? Like when it comes down to it, just because I have less subs than you doesn't mean that you have more knowledge than me. Now, I'm not going to say that's not necessarily true, but it does have a good point to it.
Sure.
But I love the show with Derek. Derek has some of the most epic, like good, the bad, the ugly, like topics to talk about. He had some that made me laugh, some that got me angry, some that made me happy, some that got me sad, and it's an epic time. Like I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so does he come to you with those sort of subjects like, hey, like check this out, this is kind of what we could talk about this week, or like he comes to you with the like kind of gets into the community, sees what's out there, and then you guys have a show around that and things like that?
So Derek's really good at hiding all the topics until the last 30 minutes of the show.
Oh yeah.
And then I have to like put him on, and I kind of scroll through for the 30 minutes, and I'm like, all right, trying to get a little. He's like, no, I'm gonna ask you your honest opinion at the moment, and it's epic. Oh, did I lose you?
Oh no, I did see it kind of flicker, but we're still on, so that's good. Yeah, what's really fascinating to me about Derek is like I've been seeing Derek, over like the past year, maybe longer, because like I said, I've only been in this for about a year and a half, so I'm not sure kind of what his record is and like how long he's been doing this, but just seeing him get guest after guest after guest, like all these amazing big breeders, that just blows me away. So he's like a really, really good person, for interviews and things like that. I think he knows how to open people up, and so I definitely hope I can have him on my show one day, and hopefully I can have both you guys and kind of, together and kind of like sort of like see what your like kind of like ask you questions about your show and like see if I can get you guys riled up a little bit. Just see it from both of your guys' perspectives, because I think you guys make a great duo and have a really awesome show. I have been able to watch it. I think it's awesome because you guys bring up these subjects that are that might get under some people's skin. If you really care about reptiles, you're like, all right, well that's kind of out there, but we can get into some of those topics.
Please.
Yeah. All right. I was like,
do you mind if I have a cigarette?
Go for it, man. So I know your show, and I know you brought it up on the Reptile Love show as well. There's something that you find very controversial in the community and online social media, and we'll try to keep it as family friendly as we can. But I think it's an important topic to talk about because there are people that do things that are a little bit sketchy in our community and do things that give our community a bad name. And I think that's why USARK is trying to fight so hard to keep it right, because there's people that are just constantly trying to destroy our industry, making dumb mistakes, maybe let it. I mean, you see Florida, half the stuff there isn't even native, and so that's why they're so strict with their laws. But if anybody has not seen it yet, go check out a video that Dingo Dinkelman put out. He put out a video recently of his son swimming with 300 baby Nile crocodiles, and I think there's heat on both sides. There's a lot of people that love it, think it's great, and then there's people like us who think it's probably not the best idea in the world. We can just put it at that. So let me ask you, how do you feel about that? Like, what was your reaction when you saw that video?
Okay, so very family oriented.
I know how you feel about it, but we got to let the world know kind of like the whole subject and the topic, because I really think that it's not very acceptable to be doing that. Like, it's just not a smart thing.
it's like when my son got bit in the collarbone, right? It's kind of the same thing. Like, I wasn't gonna post that because it would just add negativity.
Yeah, sure.
I get your dingo tinkerman, but at the same time, you're posting something where, and everyone could disagree with me, but like, you're hurting the reptile community more than you're helping it. You're you're allowing your 11-year-old son or 10-year-old or however old he is to go and swim with these gators. Yes, I give them the fact that they're only at 1.5 to 3 feet at most, but at the same time, if your son gets bit, who is
Yep.
to blame? If your son dies from it, who looks bad?
Yeah.
Not just you, not just Dingo, but
Yeah.
everybody else that has any kind of crocodile, caiman.
Yeah.
We all look bad because of that.
100%.
So
yeah, go ahead.
That is a video, in my personal preference, that you should keep as a family thing. Like, do you remember, like, when your son grows up, do you remember doing this? Do you remember that day? Like, don't post that online. You're hurting the community more than you're helping it. And honestly, with Florida doing all their bans, and now they're starting to do it in Georgia, like, it's only going to spread from there. And people think like, oh, well, it's dingo though. It doesn't matter because it hurts everybody. Eventually, it spread from Florida, right? Started in Florida. Florida has all these invasive species, and I get it, the Burmese, even the 2 green basilisks they got. But at the same time, we're hurting each other while posting dumb videos at the same time. Like, I'm not saying I'm helping the reptile community at all, because I mean, I do a lot of live feeding videos, and people frown upon that. But at the same time, I just feel like it's better for my animal to eat a live one than a frozen sod where they freeze them. And then sometimes they got to gas them for another. So a gassing chamber takes up to 5 minutes. And there's sometimes they got to regas them for another 5 minutes because they didn't die. So you're telling me you're willing to let that animal suffer for 10 minutes, up to 5 to 10 minutes, or I could feed, and not only that, when you freeze it, it loses a good portion of its fat content, which is pretty healthy for your snake to grow. That's how I see it. So I do live feedings. I breed my own rats. You call me a jerk, a butthole, whatever you want to call it. But when Dinko posted that video, he made a big mistake on everyone. I was reading comments. So many people were praising him. No,
they were.
There should be no praising involved. He hurt us more because now they could go. If the Senate, the U.S. House wants to look at it and review it, they could be like, well, look at this guy. He has this many subscribers. He thinks, if his kid would have got hurt, even if it's, even that he didn't, they can still ban things now more and more. They're going for turtles now. So where is the line that we do start policing ourselves and draw the line?
Yeah.
Like, where is that line? Because unless you're a 50,000 subscriber YouTuber, everyone's going to join and be like, oh, he knows what he's doing. Really? Like, that shouldn't be the case. The case is that you're hurting the reptile community. That's what I see.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I had to really kind of analyze it for myself. Be like, was that a dangerous situation? And like, obviously the kid made it out fine, but like, yeah, one little nip, like, honest, like, I don't know if I should say this because I do want to keep it a family show, but if like even one of those gators or crocodiles, I guess, like, grab that little kid's junk, like, that's literally like, that's trauma right there. You know what I mean? Like,
okay,
it might have bit him in the finger or whatever. He'd probably be fine. But like, all they got to do is get him in the wrong spot. You know what I mean?
This is a proven fact. Alligators and crocodiles, if you drop just a drop of blood in water, just like a shark, they can smell it really heavy, right? Everyone can go look this up. Now imagine his son being nicked just for a split second in that water. That could cause a feeding frenzy upon all of them to do more damage to his kid than just one biting him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have gotten way, way worse. And for him at the end to be like, shh, don't tell your mom, makes it
Yeah, that's what really got to me. That actually got to me because like you're gonna say, hey, don't tell mom, but then you're gonna show it to like 10 million people. Like that just makes no sense. And it just, I do think that was something that could have been kept a little bit more private. You know what I mean? Like that, yeah, like that kid might even grow up having a lot of people bash on him because of that, what he did as a kid, but it's not his fault. It's like his dad's fault. You know what I mean? And yeah, anything could have gone wrong there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. It's something that we as reptile keepers and breeders and people in the community need to be a little bit more aware about is not doing things that are going to harm the community. Which sort of brings me to my next subject. It's kind of another. I would say it's actually very, very controversial. And I don't have like any sort of pictures for this or anything like that, but there's been some footage going around the internet of this YouTube channel, literally like gluing on what are they like I don't even know what they are. Man, I should have researched this, but gluing things on, I forget what they are, like muscles, or you guys know what I'm talking about? Like just gluing shit onto turtles' backs, saying it's all natural, and then prying it. Yeah, the barnacles. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, like gluing on barnacles to turtles, and then catching them wild, and then posting on their video of them like trying to clean it up and stuff like that. But what a lot of people don't know is that turtles, even though they have the shell, they still have nerve endings. They're still sensitive. Like if you chip their shell and things like that, they're gonna feel that. Like you're putting them in. You're literally putting their life and their health and their happiness at risk just to make a video. And then if you go through this channel, I don't know exactly what the channel is off the top of my head, but if you go through this channel, they're uploading content like every day. Every day it's just like a new turtle of them finding it in the wild, and it's just that's ridiculous. And I don't even know how channels like that are still around. I think yeah, there's a lot of content creators that will literally abuse animals and then say that they're rescuing them, but they like abuse them before, like, oh, this one got this stuff stuck on it, or this one got stuck in this net, or this or that, but they're like doing it to these animals, and I don't understand how those channels aren't getting taken down.
It's messed up. It's wrong. Let me put this in perspective. If you're gonna glue stuff to a turtle like barnacles and be like, oh, I found it like this, how would you like it if I came to you and started gluing shit to you?
Right.
Like honestly, I have a tortoise. I read a lot about them. They have, like you said, nerve endings on top of their shell. They feel it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the pain? Like, yeah, it's different with each animal. You don't see the pain level like you do a human, but still, there's pain involved on doing that to those animals, and it's wrong. It's completely wrong. To do something like that just to make money and get views and be like, yeah, my channel blew up, I'm getting paid on YouTube now. No, it's not cool. You guys should be shut down. Your channel should be taken from you. You should go to jail, and you should get a hefty fine.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know how they're getting 10, 20 million views. Like, why would you want to see that in the first place? And then I think after that many views, there's gotta be enough people asking questions like, is this legit? Or like, are they just doing it for views, or what's going on here? Which is why I think that sort of topic has surfaced, that these guys are literally planting these things on these turtles. And Bradimus says that they're freshwater turtles. They don't get barnacles and things like that. And I just see those videos. They're like, it's just crazy. And then people are sort of duped into thinking that this is all natural. And
oh, what's up, everybody? He'll be back in a minute. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. If you guys haven't already, please smack that like button for him. Share this out. Let's get some more people in here. You got some interesting
I'm not sure what happened, man. I am so sorry.
It's all good.
I do not know what happened.
It's all good.
I'm glad it didn't cut out for too long. Um, but let's see. Let's kind of go through some of these comments because I think they're interesting. It's good to get everybody here sort of involved in that because we need to bring more awareness to things like this. It's just not right. And then, yeah, they're just going to start making more and more laws about what you can and can't do. And these things is definitely abuse. So DWR Exotics says that makes me so angry, especially being a turtle owner. Yeah, like there's so many people that have turtles and like it's sort of like mocking us. It's mocking the people that are really passionate about these animals. I don't know why it cut you out, but yeah, if people are caught doing things like this, they should definitely be fined. They should have their YouTube channels taken away. They should be fined the revenue that they made from their YouTube channel. Give it all back, probably double that. Why not? I mean, there's got to be something that can be done about these things. Yeah, 100%. It's probably not the best idea to take wild animals home. They're just not going to thrive like you think they are. I'm all for captive bred animals and getting those things because, yeah, once you start bringing in wild animals, you risk, them having parasites or giving your collection mites or parasites, things like that. And they just might not thrive the way that you would expect them to compared to when you pick up at, a nice reptile shop. Let's go bedazzle their face. Yeah, let's freaking glue.
I'm down.
Glue stuff to their face, man. For real.
Go. I'm down.
Yeah, actually, so Brad, I did. I think I did report that channel, but it doesn't take just one person. Like we need everybody to go and report channels that we see like this. I know this is sort of like a sort of controversial thing too, or at least in my opinion. I think that this company, this person means well, but at the same time, it sort of bugs me. But so I'm just going to bring this up as well. As I know, Nerd has his guys. Was it Donovan or I forget? He's making all these videos, kind of calling out breeders and reptile keepers and stuff like that. And I get it. Like if someone is doing something wrong in the community, we need to make a point to call them out and raise attention to it. But I also see that they're bringing up things that don't matter. Like I know Nerd brought on, show clips of Derek's reptiles, and I'm like, all right, you're picking on these small time breeders that are making content, and you're probably jealous because they're getting bigger guests than you, and they're probably getting more views than you in some cases and things like that. And I think some people are doing bad things, but if you're just posting live feeding videos or whatever, like that's what rats do, or that's what snakes do. They eat live animals. And, I'm not personally, I don't enjoy really watching live feeding videos, but if you're going to post those, like, you're not meant to have snakes if you can't watch that because you're never going to be able to feed one yourself. But yeah. Right. We got Solo. Hey, Solo. How's it going? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love Gila monsters. Those are awesome. I would love to have one. And yeah, things like that. Like, just make sure you get good quality, healthy animal from a reptile shop. If you just grab whatever you want from the wild, like, there's no telling what's going to happen. It might bring in a disease into your house, and it could kill off your whole collection. Or, and I'm not saying I'm an expert. Actually, that's why I have the show, so I can learn from people that have more knowledge and experience than me. But Roundup Rodeo. There's a channel that's going around on YouTube. They're getting like 10, 20 million videos, watches per videos and likes and things like that. It's a channel that posts people gluing like barnacles and sea life onto these turtles' backs. And apparently they're freshwater turtles. So this isn't actually happening in real life. Then they're prying them off, and it really causes damage to their nerves and causes them a lot of pain. So we're kind of talking about that subject as far as like just controversial topics and online in the reptile community and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's probably it as far as that stuff goes. But I'm curious, would you like to show off any animals, or is that something that you think you can do tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's show some animals. I think people, they love seeing that stuff. Otherwise, I am just about out of questions. But yeah, it's been fun.
all right.
But yeah,
Give
let me
me
see what
one
let me see what you got.
second.
Let me see. Yeah,
Give me 1 second.
you got it. Yeah, Rodeo, thank you for coming out. I don't think I've seen you on my channel before. And if you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you subscribe, hit this like button, same with everybody else. And feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram. I've got Instagram, it's inquiline.x, so it's my channel plus .x. I did that just because somebody had taken the Inquiline sort of tag on Instagram like way long ago before I really thought about doing this as like a business or anything like that. So you guys can find me at inquiline.x on Instagram, Inquiline on YouTube, Inquiline on Facebook. I'm really trying to grow the Facebook, although I hate Facebook. But I think it's important to have your social media outlets and things like that. Awesome. Angry Atrox, am I saying that right? I hope so. All right. Welcome back.
So here's my cinnamon mill.
Oh, man. I can tell why you love him so much.
Like, he is friendly. I mean, he doesn't bite, touch and nose to nose with him. He is the one that I show everybody right away. He is amazing. I couldn't, yeah, he's the one I cannot get rid of for nothing. You could offer me everything in the world, I cannot get rid of him.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a full-grown adult. Really beautiful colors even at his age. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could tell why you like him so much. And yeah, so you handle him a lot, you take him out, kind of he's your buddy, your go-to guy.
He's the main one to go for, like, driving in the car, going out for walks.
Oh, for real, yeah.
Now it's too cold now, but
yeah, no, I get it, but yeah,
definitely car rides right now, and yeah, he full-grown cinnamon male. He does well. It's my wife's favorite, so I cherish him. She does too, and yeah, I love the golding and the browning and the blushing.
Yeah, that is really pretty. That's real pretty. And are you? I'm sure you already said this, but are you pairing him with any females this year? I know you said you had paired him in the past, right?
He is.
Or no, you're not.
He's gonna go. Yeah. So he'll be going this year to either one of the pastels again, or he might go to this pastel I have that's supposedly 100% het clown, yet not proven.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I don't think she's a normal ball python, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, she's a ball python, of course.
Yeah.
But what is the other name for it? Oh, I really believe she's a Volta. So, like, he's a pretty
yeah.
And he's a really thick mouth, and he eats well. He gets taken care of. And let me show you the Volta, which I believe is a Volta. I'll be right back. Let me put him back. For sure.
Yeah, I love cinnamon, guys. It's something that at first I really didn't. I guess I just didn't know enough about it when I first saw cinnamon, but seeing cinnamon in other combinations is really awesome.
Now, I cannot prove she's 100% Volta, but when you guys see her, if you know what a Volta is, then you'll probably agree with me.
Well, I know Volta, I guess, from my understanding, is a sort of locality that expresses a larger body type than a normal ball python. So it's not a morph, it's more of like a locality thing. Is that right?
Correct. It's a bigger body ball python, and she's pretty lengthy, but the weight on her is over 5,000 grams.
5,000, really?
And she's way thicker than my males. Her neck is way bigger. Like
Yeah,
she
she's
is,
a big girl. Yeah.
yeah, no, she's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to get into Volta. I have a friend who has a Volta in his collection, a female Volta. Um, I would love to kind of see how that plays out with, adding genes, but then, I don't know, too much about, Volta and like, can it get passed on, or I think you need two Voltas, don't you? Or how does that work? Do you know?
Not 100% on the Volta genes. I just
It's an
know that
interesting concept though.
if you compare a Volta to a normal sized female, way more thicker, way more bigger. Like she's a big girl. Like
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to boop your nose. But once again, all my snakes are handleable. They're not aggressive.
Sure.
I only got one in my collection that's aggressive.
Sure.
At the moment. Well, two actually. But yeah, no, her neck size is so much thicker than the rest of them by a long shot.
That's interesting. Yeah, I would love to have a ball python that just expresses a way bigger body. You know what I mean? Like between like a ball python and a boa or something. You know? Oh.
I'm gonna pull out my son's snake. He is a spider Enchi pinstripe orange dream.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. That sounds really nice.
And he is just so bright.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
yes, he has the head issue with being upside down and all that. But
yeah.
definitely the pinstripes there.
Yep.
The spider's definitely visible. You can see a little bit of the orange stream coming up on the sides and all that. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I have a killer spinner, so that's a super pastel pinstripe spider, and looks similar to that. Just mine's like yellow, so I kind of show you her, but she's got the same sort of striping as far as like the spider and the pinstripe kind of get mixed in there. It's just mine's like a super pastel, and yours has orange dream. But man, like honestly, I really wish the spiders didn't have issues like that. Mine doesn't. But I think spiders are one of the most beautiful morphs. And yeah, if you mix that spider and that pinstripe, it adds those sort of really clean lines down the sides. And yeah, it's got that sort of that blushing, that sort of calico look on the belly. And yeah, I love it, man. I think that's going to be, you said it's a male or female? A male?
He's a male.
Male.
All right, come on, go back. Thank you, buddy. I'm going to pull out one of the green basilisks for you.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are cool.
So they're only about 5 to 6 months old. I was there when the dude bought them. I'm going to take out the male because he's the only one that'll really let me handle him. Come on, calm down, calm down, calm down. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that's such a pretty animal, man. So you said you have two then?
Yeah, the male and the female, and they're together.
Yeah, male and female. And yeah, are you pretty much trying to breed them one day, or like?
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Come down, no, come down. Come down. I love you. Come down.
Yeah, those guys are. Hey, let me put you on the big screen. Hold on 1 second. Let me figure out. I forget how you do this already.
So you got to click on me and then put.
There we go. No wait. Oh, I click on you. Oops. See, I clicked on me. Or I clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, so there's that. Click on you. Solo. There we go. I'm learning. Oh yeah.
So he has this little horn growing. That's how I know he's a male. The low horn is finally growing.
Oh,
And he'll
okay.
eventually get a fin or a spinal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a
that'll come.
dorsal. That's pretty cool.
So he is epic though.
Yeah,
Now he's calmed down, so
I would love to have one of those. Oh man,
he's looking at
it's
me like, "Are you
it's
gonna eat me?"
it's crazy because when you look at all these animals, like they're just little mini dinosaurs.
They are. And they're really epic. I like having these guys.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that separates the reptiles from like mammals and creatures like that is like these reptiles have been around like literally probably forever. You know what I mean?
So he was soaking in his water dish. Here's a GHI lesser pastel.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. See, my female's a pastel lesser, but no GHI, and I need GHI so bad. I think it's awesome.
I had to get it. I got him from Biggie Snakes.
Okay. Yeah.
He was so thin though. If you guys go back to the video when I first got him, like you could see a little bit of him triangling still, but he's put on quite a bit of weight for me.
That's good.
He does. I fed him last night or the other night on the live stream. He eats really well. Very friendly. Doesn't bite.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Their camera.
Yeah, and they're so cute. They're like little freaking puppy dogs. I swear, man. Like their faces are so cute.
He's about to go and shed though. His belly's going pink.
Yeah, I feel that.
Hi, buddy. Let's put you back. You were soaking in your water dish. And then I'm gonna pull out the tortoise, and I found out that it's a redfoot tortoise.
Hey, Stephen and Courtney, welcome to the show. Good luck with your 15 minutes of lame. I really hope you guys win. Yeah,
What's up, Leviathan Snake?
You guys are awesome.
Here's the redfoot tortoise.
Yeah. I want a tortoise so bad. I just like. Dude, I do. I want one. Yeah. There's tortoises are like the coolest. They're like I don't think I'd ever get a turtle. I just think that I just don't want to deal with water changes and all that stuff. But tortoises are like, oh, they're so awesome, and I would love to have one. I have a couple friends that have them, and like, they're just like, I don't know. I wouldn't say they're like dogs, but at the same time, they kind of like, they're like just little cool little buddies, like just walk around your house or whatever.
Yeah, no, I love this thing. She's awesome. We named her Gloria. Well, my wife named her Gloria. I'm just stuck with it. But she has a beautiful shell, beautiful head stamp, like oranges and.
How long have you had her?
I want to say about 2 weeks now. She was more of a rescue.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
So the person before me that had her was leaving her in the garage of their place and only had a space heater next door. So now she has everything, UVB lighting, all that stuff to keep her healthy. She gets fed quite a bit. At first, she wouldn't even come really out of her shell. Now she's walking around in her tank now, her enclosure, and she's a lot more excited.
Nice. Yeah, that's really good. Like with tortoises, man, like they just live so long. Like, I mean, it's like you almost have to have a will for them, you know what I mean? And it sucks if someone gets one because they think it's like this cute little thing, you know what I mean? But then they have it for a couple years and they just get sick of it. And it's like, man, like they still have so much life ahead of them.
Oh, yeah. So I was reading that like 80 years in captivity. That's all that I think I'm going to show at the moment.
Sure, not a problem. Yeah, so real quick, I'm gonna read out this comment. Yeah, if you guys are down, vote for Leviathan Snakes on 15 Minutes of Fame. 15 Minutes of Lame. You can go to Snakes and the Fat Man, his page. He's got a link to his website. You can vote on his website. And yeah, so I think it's really awesome what he's doing. I think Chris Eaton is doing something really, really awesome. Like he's giving people an opportunity to get themselves out there, build their brands, kind of get a lot more recognition than they might otherwise get. And across like all platforms, you know, people are sharing their posts. And it's cool to see, you know, like people like Leviathan Snakes, Stephen and Courtney, how they're campaigning right now. And so that's really fun to see. They're making videos every day that are going out there for you to be able to get them to vote. And I just think it's awesome because it adds a whole nother aspect of creativity to this reptile industry that I think might not really come out if you don't really have a purpose behind it. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to show reptiles and pictures and things like that. But now that we have something, you know, something like that Chris Eaton, I think, has been doing it for a couple years now. And yeah, so I can't wait to see who wins. Good luck, Leviathan Snakes. Honestly, I've known you guys since I pretty much got into got into the hobby and stuff, and seeing you on Adam's show for the very first time. And yeah, you guys have been awesome. And I know I've had a couple conversations with Steven over the phone, and like just always been a real awesome dude to me, and a good friend. So
I've had him live on my channel for sure.
Hell yeah. They're so knowledgeable. Like and they take I feel like they take the social media to another level. Like Steven's he's got a marketing degree, I think is what it is, and so he knows all the ins and outs, how to boost your brand, how to build it, how to you know, he's big on the lighting, big on like just editing and all these things. Like to me, it blows me away. I would love to get that level where I can have like a more professional look to my show and to my social media and stuff. And those guys definitely nail it. Like one of the best for sure.
Right on. Yeah, no, they do.
Yep.
It was a blast when I had them on.
You said it was what?
It was a blast when I had both of them on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep, and hopefully they'll be able to come on my show one day. And I am starting to sort of get guests and things like that. So yeah, I'll start, you know, kind of going out there and start asking more people and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a fun time. This community is awesome. Like it's just a big, huge network of people that support each other, and so that's always fun. But David, I think we might call it a night. You know, I'm out of questions. If there's anything that you have questions for me, feel free to ask. Or if anybody in the chat has a question for either one of us, get it out real quick. But David, dude, it's been awesome having you. I love talking to you, and your energy is just something else, man. Like I like it. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's nice seeing your animals. I wish you the best of luck with your show, and I'll definitely try to hop on your show, Reptile Love, a lot more. It just sucks. My schedule is super packed with work. I work overnight, so it makes it really, really hard. But before everybody dips out, I want to show the promo for next week's video because I do have a guest lined up. So let me kind of show you who that's going to be. Let me see if I can play this video real quick, and then after that, we'll cut it out. And I wish everybody a good night. Actually, before I do that, I want to bring this up. So this, if you guys don't know, this is sort of my new slogan or whatever, evolve together. And then on the top and the bottom say Unus Pro Omnibus. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Unus Pro Omnibus, Omnibus Pro Uno, which means one for all and all for one. So my brand, as many of you guys are starting to learn, is all about unity and coming together. I think that's important, and I think we do have that in our specific hobby and industry. but I think it's just really important to be able to grow every day, to grow with each other. Things like this, like I'm gonna look back at this show, and in a year, 2, 5 years, and like, man, like this is where I got started. You know what I mean? And same with you. Like, let's say 5 years from now, we look back at these times in our life, and we're like, man, we grew so much, with the people around us, and it's because of people like you, David, that help take us to that next level that we can evolve with, and things like that. So that's really sort of like my mission statement, my motto, my slogan, whatever you want to call it. So you guys will be seeing more of that. I'll kind of tag that in my videos. As far as I'm pull this back up really quick. As far as like this logo goes, it's probably gonna change. It's not really a logo. It's just a template for an animation. I took a screenshot of it, cropped it, and all that good stuff. But let me pull up this video for next week's guest, and I'll be posting this to YouTube as well. So stay tuned. All right, well, that's it. So yeah, next week we're gonna have Kent from Craft Brew Morphology on. If anybody in the chat is interested in being a guest on my show, feel free to DM me on Instagram, inkwine.x. But otherwise, David, thank you again for showing up and coming out. Really good talking to you. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Later, everyone.